Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Story with Student Life. I'm excited to have Nathan Zackroff here today. He is with our Experiential Learning unit on campus, which you might know as the Internships office. But Internships is just one kind of experiential learning experience that you can have. And so they do have that broader title to their office. They are part of LynxConnect. As a reminder for students who don't yet know, LynxConnect has our Career Center, our Experiential Learning Unit, Study Abroad, which is part of the Office of Global Education. And they have our Undergraduate Research Office. So lots of things to help you get involved outside of the classroom to learn career readiness skills, prepping you for that job search. They're located across from iPie Pizza. It's kind of hard to find. So if you come to the Tivoli Student Union, you know where the pizza place is. Exit the building at the two doors right outside of the pizza place, and there's this big patio. LynxConnect is right across the patio. It's the only thing that you can see from their door. And so go inside, go up the big staircase, and they will be glad to help you. So I'm going to pause there and let Nathan introduce himself. And I'd love if he'd share what do you do on campus, specifically with this unit? Tell us a little bit about your job. And then I'd love to learn, where did you go to college and what was something you were involved in that was meaningful to you?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you doing some wayfinding to LynxConnect as well. We are a little bit hidden, but we love having students come find us. Yeah, so my name is Nathan Zackroff. I am an internship advisor with our Experiential Learning Center. And really what that means is I'm dedicated to students and helping them find experiential learning opportunities, most of those being around internships, but we've helped with other volunteer experiences, volunteer service learning agreements, things of that nature. So we can help in a majority of different ways, but internships do make up a big chunk of that. I am a graduate of the University of Colorado Boulder, so I actually studied liberal arts during my time there. Loved it. Went on to do my master's degree at the University of Denver in business, and I'm actually a current graduate student at CU Denver right now as well, clinical mental health counseling. So I'm kind of a lifelong student and very much engaged that way. In my undergraduate days, really one of the most, I would say, beneficial and influential experiences I had is I actually got to work for the university at their rec center. And so I was a employee for about 2 years and made a tremendous amount of connections, wonderful people that I stayed in touch with and stay in touch with till today. And it really influenced a lot of what I do now, which is wanting to help students, wanting to work within a community like CU and really support a bunch of different individuals through kind of my love and passion for education. So I think that's a lot of where it got started.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Well, I want to start by asking you kind of like, how should a student investigate or acquire an internship? And I ask this because back in the day when I was a college student, you had to randomly just approach companies and go, do you have an internship that I could have? I'm majoring in X. And I know that's not the way anymore. And it was pretty darn difficult back then. So how do you acquire or find an internship?
A very good question. Well, the good news is there's a few different ways. The three kind of types of searching that I really like to highlight with students starts with kind of the new age, right? As you mentioned, how do people find internships now? You know, the good news is the internet exists and there's lots of ways of finding opportunities. Handshake is what we use as a university that has a job and internship board. Works a lot like a LinkedIn or an Indeed, but that would be the first place to start. Search for opportunities via Handshake because the university actually highlights and also kind of approves those opportunities. Now you can also find those on other job and internship boards as well. But that traditional search works really well for a lot of students. So start there using keywords of what you're interested in finding. Secondarily, networking, right? Just like your career, talking with people in your network. That might be family, friends. I highlight like CU Denver is your community. It is your network. And so talking to faculty, I'm a part of that network. So come talk to me. I might know of opportunities that aren't posted online. So that's a good place to start too, is just kind of raising your hand and letting people know, yes, I'm interested. Can anybody help me? And a lot of times they can. The third bucket that I like to talk about actually is a lot like what you talked about, which is be proactive. So if you know of a company that you're really interested in, it's okay to reach out to them directly and kind of introduce yourself, see if they have opportunities or see if someone's willing to talk with you. Whether those are small or big companies, for-profit, nonprofit, we see it work in a lot of different different areas. And so being proactive and actively reaching out can really be beneficial as well. So finding those opportunities via job board, great. Networking, great. Being proactive, great. If you're doing all three of those, you're likely to find something really wonderful.
I know that one of the tips that really helped me when I was in college was contacting those potential internship sites and asking to do an informational interview.
Yes.
Could I have 15 minutes of your time to learn more about your business? What are you looking for when you hire people fresh out of college? And then I would slip in do you actually hire interns or have unpaid internships, which was more the norm then, not so much now, but I would slip in, do you guys have internships available typically in the summers for students?
Yes, we love that.
Yeah. Well, my next question is kind of about timing. I recently did an interview with somebody talking about study abroad, and I said, back when I was in college, you would do that the summer between your junior and your senior year. And that was also the summer that I was told that would be a great time to do your internship because it's a year before your last year of coursework. Is that relevant anymore? Does it matter when a student does an internship? Can they do more than one?
It's a great question. Yes and yes. So really the best time to look is now. Doesn't matter when you're thinking about doing an internship, start doing that search process early, because what we see a lot of times is students waiting and hoping that it will kind of match up with the time that fits them, which is great. But employers hire at different times of the year, and their time in hiring changes as well. And so there's no exact kind of right timeline for us to predict exactly when those are going to work out for you. So really starting early is the best process. What I tell students a lot is you can always say no, or you can always negotiate a start time as well. So if it ends up being too early for you, you're already making those connections, and it's great for maybe a future opportunity. Now to do it for academic credit, it does have to overlap with a semester, so with a current semester. So the biggest deadlines that I tell students is census date. So if you're hoping internship fall, spring, or summer, you have to have the internship offered to you no later than census date for us to get through all the approvals for credit internships. Now, you don't have to do it for credit. And as you state, we love when you do more than one internship. It's more experience. It's more insight into what you like or don't like. It's more networking, right? It's more connections you're making. So if you can do 2 to 3 internships, fantastic. And in that realm, to do that, we say start early. Start your freshman, sophomore year looking, and then we'll help you in our office figure out if it's a good time to do it for credit, or how you kind of need to report it with the university for the right support. So we can really be that extra layer. But in short, start now, start early, and if you reach out to us.
So student census date is actually usually the 10th day of classes. Yes. So keep that in mind. So Friday, the second week. Let's go a little further down with how your team can assist students. What happens if they come and say, hey, can I meet with, Nathan or someone else on the experiential learning team?
Yes, we love when students come to us because we can help out in a number of different ways. It starts with the search process. So we can help you find opportunities. We can let you know what organizations students, maybe in your major have done internships with in the past. But we also help with resumes. We help you find and write resumes that are going to be attractive to employers. We help with cover letters. I do mock interviews with students. So once you get to that interview stage, finding that out, we can talk about informational interviewing. We have resources around networking. We have events that we help host. We have connections in the industry. So we help with a lot of different things as it relates to it. If it's related to an internship, I promise we can help, or we can find someone who can. So really at any stage of the process, please reach out to us. Let us know how we can help out. And then beyond that, I always like to mention we're here throughout your entire internship experience as well. So we're not just here to help you find one. We're here to make sure that internship experience is a great one. And so whether you're doing it for academic credit or not, you have us as a resource to make sure that experience really is beneficial. And it's something that you're hoping or that you are getting the most out of for what you were hoping from that sort of experience.
I'm always curious to know, 2 or 3 tips that students should pay attention to in the area of my interview. So when we think about internships, do you have 2 or 3 tips maybe you could offer for students, once they're on site? Let's make it when they're there. They've done the process hooking up with you all, finding that internship, but they're there now at that company.
Yes, great question. I'd say it all starts with communication. So early on in the process, make sure that you're having good communication with your employer. It might be a hiring manager, it might be a recruiter, it might be your supervisor, but understanding kind of what the process looks like going in day one. What's the training going to be like? Are you going to have your own email address? What is the systems? How often are you going to be in the office? Those sort of things really matter, and starting that process early. So ask questions and be communicative as early as possible. Secondarily, ask a lot of questions. So once you get started, right, an internship is a lot about learning. You're going to be doing a lot of different things. And so we really request that students ask a lot of questions of your supervisor, right? They're there to mentor you. And when in doubt, if you have questions that you're not comfortable asking the employer, reach out to us. We might have answers for you or resources that can help out as well. And then finally, just make the most of it as it relates to kind of getting to know these people around you. You know, we talk a lot about the experience. It's about exploration. You're going to be doing things that you maybe love, some things that maybe you don't love as much, which is good because then you know you don't love it moving forward. But a lot of times the things that you take away from these experiences more than anything else is really wonderful relationships. So the more you have a chance to network with people, other interns maybe that you're there with, again, supervisors, different departments that you might work with. The broader the range of relationships that you can make, the better. And that's one thing we just hear consistently from students as they come away and say, I love my experience, but more than anything else, I love the people I work with. And that's just something that will last you a lifetime. So really take advantage of those relationships and those opportunities to network with those people as well.
Thank you. Well, as we wrap up, are there any upcoming events? This video comes out in February. Any upcoming events related to internships you'd like to share with our audience?
Absolutely. Well, it's very timely. We do have our internship and job fair coming up on the 21st of February. We do host an internship and job fair that is campus wide, both in the spring and the fall. And so February 21st, you can sign up via Handshake. We'll have probably upwards of 60 different employers there.
Oh, wow.
A bunch of different areas of industry. So more than likely there's someone there that's interested in students just like you. And then beyond that, we host a lot of smaller events. You can always check for those events in Handshake. They'll always be posted there. So check in frequently for one-off opportunities as well. And if you ever have questions about other opportunities outside of the university, again, reach out to us. We might know of professional organizations or other hiring opportunities around internships in the community as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, folks, we have the big event in a week. So definitely want you to consider, even if you're not ready for an internship, consider attending the fair to walk through and see how the fair is laid out, listen to what kind of questions people are asking, as well as how employers are responding. Sometimes it's good just to go and observe before you're ready to engage. And other times, if you're ready, that's a great time to go and inquire about internships. So Nathan, thank you for joining me today.
Of course.
Students, I will have down in the show notes links to Nathan's office and information about this fair. So thanks again. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.